disintegrating as you're getting into it.
Painful prosthetics, serious regrets, growing claws, and sweating buckets because of costumes? Just a day in the life of the actors in the Batman movies.
I'm really unhappy.
We've got the inside scoop on the pain the Batman actors have had to endure over the years, from the inconvenient to the horribly painful. Number 1. Being a superhero costs. It looks cool on screen, but in reality, Pattinson wasn't feeling so confident in what felt and looked more like a Halloween costume at first. Wearing the 60-pound suit was described as absolute torture, not to mention the fact that 5 people had to help him actually get into it. Christian Bale did warn Pattinson in advance just how tricky the suit could be, which led to Pattinson taking action very quickly, making sure the costume design team could help him out.
I was like, first things first. I need a patch, I need a flap on the back.
Batman's gotta look out for each other.
Easy access.
Number 2. Who is that actor? None other than Colin Farrell. The performer looks unrecognizable in The Batman, thanks to a fat suit, prosthetics, and a lot of detailed makeup. The actor's face couldn't move so easily, with 6 different prosthetics being applied every single day and makeup to touch it all up. The struggle didn't end there, though. Every single time before Farrell could get on set, multiple crew members were holding incredibly harsh, bright flashlights in his face, just to make sure not a single seam could be seen. Number 3. He did it for the part, but he wasn't happy about it. Paul Dano brings the Riddler to life in The Batman, but filming didn't come without major regret from the actor regarding his costume. On set, the actor came up with the idea that his character could get completely covered in plastic wrap as a way to not leave any DNA on a crime scene. It seemed like a solid enough idea, and they went for it, but that's when the actor realized just how big a mistake he'd made. My head was just throbbing with heat. I went home at night after the first full day of that, and I almost couldn't sleep because I was scared of what was happening to my head. It was like compressed from the sweat and the heat and the lack of oxygen. Eventually, the team realized this wasn't feasible for the actor at all, so the designers made some adjustments, allowing the actor's mask to be a bit more breathable. Number 4. This cat can scratch. Stopping filming a couple months in because of the pandemic turned out to really benefit Zoe Kravitz when it came to sinking her claws into the role. Literally. The actress collaborated with the design team to bring her Catwoman to life, and during her downtime, Kravitz was letting her nails grow out because she wasn't allowed to get a manicure. And then the idea struck. Why not grow out her own set of claws? Her pitch to the team was crazy, wonderful, scary nails that looked like claws. She opted to drop the nail polish to bring more cat-like nails to the screen, and while it wasn't always comfortable, who wouldn't take advantage of this brilliant idea, inconvenient as it might have been for Kravitz and the team to maintain? Number 5. When Robert Pattinson went through his Batman auditions, the production team needed to know how he'd carry himself in the suit. So they had him use an older Batman suit, and that's when he first got a taste of just how brutal being Batman could be.
Every single one still has the actor's kind of sweat.
The actor tried wearing the suit Val Kilmer wore in his screen test, but the cowl didn't totally fit him. Plus, it was getting misshapen because of how warm and sweaty the actor was getting. We're talking fully drenched.
And then you're boiling hot. I mean, this is before I'd even got the part. This is the screen test.
So he traded it in for one of Clooney's suits since it was the best fit. But that's not saying much because it was still too tight. Even with the measurements being a bit off, the Batsuit was still pretty epic to experience wearing for Pattinson. Number 6. How tall is tall enough? Pattinson measures up at 6'1", but for his chemistry read with Zoe Kravitz, it wasn't quite enough. The team needed to see Pattinson grow a few inches, so the solution was to pair his Batman suit, which didn't even fit that well, with a pair of high-heeled sneakers. Anyone who's worn shoes with lifts inside knows that they are not very easy to walk in, and when trying to convince a bunch of producers that you should play a superhero, well, it leaves an actor feeling pretty uncomfortable with the whole situation. Pattinson awkwardly walked around, not feeling very much like the caped crusader he was trying to be. Number 7. Enter the visual effects pajamas. At least that's what Ben Affleck called his not-so-traditional batsuit. He was rocking the full CG mocap suit, and while it might have been a bit more comfortable, it didn't make Affleck feel anything like the superhero he was supposed to be. It was the most humiliating, ridiculous thing in the world for the actor, but he knew that it was a major benefit to the CG team. The suit just didn't match the vibe he was going for, leaving him very uncomfortable throughout filming. It made for a very gloomy Batman. Number 8. Need some extra muscle? There's padding for that. Traditionally, Wonder Woman has had a pretty specific built physique, and Gal Gadot wasn't exactly what fans were used to. The actress worked hard to bulk up and added quite a bit of muscle, but it didn't keep her from avoiding the dreaded padded suit. Her Wonder Woman outfit was stuffed with loads of heavy and warm padding. Muscles, chest, hips, everything was amplified, making for a not-so-great feeling experience for the actor.
We ended up having, I think, over 14 different costumes.
Number 9. Who knew his suit was to blame? Christian Bale and his Batman suit weren't friends for a few reasons. The poor ventilation for one, leaving Bale incredibly overwhelmed and struggling to breathe, and leading to headaches on the daily. When it got cold, the cowl would get really tight, leaving him struggling to breathe so badly that he was seeing stars. Having to deal with this nuisance for so long, it only made sense to try to make the best of it, so he brought these annoyances into his character for his broody and moody moments. For the actor, it was just part of the gig. I'm getting the privilege of playing this character. I can't complain about any discomfort of the suit. His constant discomfort and contempt for the suit actually kind of benefited his performance. His bad mood became his character, and it worked. Considering his first day on set was spent keeping the suit on the whole time in an effort to feel a little more comfortable in it, we can't say he didn't try to get along with it. Number 10. Breathing? Not so easy in this gear. The Bane mask Tom Hardy was wearing in The Dark Knight Rises looked incredible, but the experience of actually wearing it? Let's just say Hardy wouldn't be giving it any 5-star reviews. He wore the mask throughout the shoot, but it did help with his character. I had something to moan about, legitimately. Hardy was a champ wearing the claustrophobic mask that emanates a certain discomfort for people who are looking. His co-star Gary Oldman even called him very brave for donning that painful mask the entire time. Number 11. Yet somehow, they worked? Heath Ledger's Joker was a performance for the history books, but one of his signature characteristics was courtesy of an awkward and uncomfortable prosthetic. The prosthetic scars placed on his face were falling off consistently, and to avoid having to go back to the makeup chair multiple times a day for touch-ups, he just licked his lips ferociously to keep everything in place and looking Joker-like. He had to do it so often that it only made sense to turn it into a characteristic. The struggle was real, and it worked.
He always had makeup on his fingers and under his fingernails and everything, as he would have from putting it on just with his hand.
Number 12. She was fit as a feline. Anne Hathaway was cast as Catwoman, and when she was, the actress went straight into the gym and worked for a full 10 months. The suit, thoughts of the suit, changing my life so I would fit into that suit, it dominated my year. Making sure she would fit into the tiny costume was just half the battle, though.
I mean, it's not a pair of sweatpants. I wouldn't describe it as that kind of comfortable.
Actually, wearing the restrictive outfit while filming was a nightmare and drove Hathaway to the point that she was calling it a psychological terrorist.
You've given them everything.
Number 13. Suit up or sew up? Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman costume, or as Pfeiffer called it, the most uncomfortable thing I've ever worn, was so tight that she was literally sewn into it. Pfeiffer would get coated in powder to slip herself in smoothly and then got vacuum sealed into the suit. For real. It was probably really unhealthy, and it would literally just start to squeeze my skin. She struggled as much as Batman did when it came to getting out of the suit to go to the washroom, always needing help to take a bathroom break.
I thought, I can't walk, I can't breathe, I can't hear.
Eventually, the costume designer made some adjustments so the actress could actually get to the washroom more easily, but performing the action wasn't any simpler.
I can't act.
Fortunately, production gave her a bit of a break and she was only allowed to wear the suit for a few hours at a time. Number 14. It looks cool, but it doesn't feel so cool. Two of the OG Batmans, Michael Keaton and George Clooney, had to suffer through two of the stiffest Batman suits in history. Filming was a brutal experience because of how much action they were actually playing out, leaving both performers extremely sore day after day. While both had stiff suits, Keaton's was the worst one, yet he still brought an epic performance. Number 15. Superhero costumes were tough in the 90s. Val Kilmer suited up, but it required a bit of time. Getting out of it at the end of a shoot? That would be another 45 minutes. Needed to go to the bathroom? Helpers were always required to make that happen. On top of it all, the actor could hardly hear with the heavy and claustrophobic mask on. How he managed to so convincingly play a superhero under these stressful conditions really is a mystery. In Gotham City, looking this cool is painful. It's a cross every actor has to bear, but some got off easier than others. Which Batman costume did you like most?